how do you define your boundaries of mini games? This was asked by Skoputs on IG. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. She was at the last seminar I was at in Stockholm, the NACA summer camp. So yeah, great question. So realistically, how do you define your mini games? It's like realistically, there's infinite mini games, right? So if we took, let's say closed guard, because everyone knows closed guard, right? Well, within closed guard, like you could just call it closed guard and specific train go, okay, I'm going to start in closed guard. I'm trying to sweep or submit. The person on top is trying to open it. And you can definitely do that as your base position. But often what happens is I'll start with some broader mini game like that and start playing. And then what will happen is like, as I go into it, I'll get into like a trouble spot where like, maybe I get the cross collar grip and I'm trying to break their posture. And then they keep repummeling their arm under my arm. So then I can't pull them down. And then I might go, okay, now let's start with just, we're in closed guard, but I have the cross collar grip too, right? So then I'll start there with the cross collar grip and then we'll go, okay, go. And then he pummels underneath and I go, oh, well, if I keep my elbow tight to your chest, try again, right? And then all of a sudden he can't pummel and you can really like hyper specific train. So the reality is how many positions are there? It's like infinite, right? It's like how many numbers are there between 1 and 10? Well, if you use like the integers, there's 1 through 10, like 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10, right? But if you do the set of real numbers, then there's infinite, right? Because you have like 1.1, 1.11, 1.111, right? So in jiu-jitsu, it's kind of the same with positions. Like, you can have these broad positions, but you can get super specific. Like sometimes I'll get so specific when I'm doing positions where I'll go, okay, I'm in De La Hiva and I have your sleeve. And then I may want to train myself for a particular response. Because you may have a partner like that, when you're fighting him, he always tries to Toriando pass, right? So he stands and moves a lot, and you're preparing for that. Well, you can tell your partner, okay, I'm going to play my open guard game, and I want you to try to like double under and stack pass pressure, right? So he's still resisting, but he's resisting in a particular way that you want. They're trying to develop the correct response. So you can get very, very specific. So I would say let the regular training like kind of guide you. That your regular rounds will tell you, oh, I'm making, whenever I get into spider guard, I lose it, right? And then that'll give you kind of broad problems like, oh, spider guard, I need to work on that, right? And then you'll start specific training in spider guard, and you may start there in like a lasso spider, and as soon as you start, the guy loops out of your lasso, right? Then you go, oh, okay, well, let me start on that. Now you tell your partner, I want you to try to loop out of my lasso immediately, right? So then they start doing that, and then you go, oh man, that's hard. Then you like look online for resources for answers, or maybe you just trial and error, try different things. Like, what if I have my hand this way? What if I have my hand this way? And you try different things until you patch that micro problem. And then you can kind of like use the broad specific training, and then as problems pop up, you get way more specific until you kind of like fix those problems, and then you go broad again, if that makes sense.